All right, joining us in the studio, we have got Kenim. Oh my God, I'm so glad to have you in again. Hey,
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
how you doing?
I'm good.
All right, we'll move on. We'll tell you who else we've got in just a bit. But do remember we got you too. So make sure you send your WhatsApp messages in to 0809 981. We're already streaming on YouTube, like I said. So if you're on the app, search for Smooth 981, and I'll leave your comments up on that live stream. Also, you can tweet at us. Yes, we are up on Twitter at Smooth981FM. Tag us in your tweets. We'll read them out in the next half hour. So, kind of, oh, are we ready to get
Yeah,
into the
let's do it.
music?
Let's do it.
Oh, you guys don't understand. We already played the track for you before. I couldn't help myself. Absolutely love Rush by Arya Starr. And so we're going to be talking about the music video now, which was directed by TJ Omori. So we'll just play a little snippet for you in case you've just tuned in somehow. But I know you've been with us since 6 o'clock. But we'll play a snippet for you now and then get to talking about it in just a bit. Sabi girl no dey too like dog. Animals dey in human form. Body man nobody like work, but you must hustle if you want job. You no finish dem wan fight us. With dem dey run dem no fit catch up. I know dey form say I too righteous. No con dey form say you do like us. Me no get the time for the hate and the bad energy. Got my mind on my money. Make you dance like broccoli. Steady green like broccoli. Steady on my grind, no one hear what they want. Telling me could be that my fantasy. What they check if my doubt. Oh yeah, there we go. Rush, rush, rush. All right, so let's get into it. Kanemo, you have got to write so first analysis. Go for
I
it.
mean, great video. I love the art direction. I love what she's wearing. The costume design, and I just want to say that I feel we're finally seeing Afrobeats female artists shine their light, and I think that Arya Starr has a potential to go international. I think she has the potential to be bigger than Burna Boy. I think she has the potential to be huge, and I'm just excited to see us pay more attention and put more investment into female artists coming out of, Nigeria.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, you know what? I have to say, like her talent is phenomenal. So, like this is her first release after her album, and I'm just like, okay, yeah. So if this is what you're going to give us, what on earth do you have waiting in the banks for us to just come and be slapping us in the face with all of that talent and all that
Absolutely.
amazingness? So, oh, and by the way, I can't wait for like her Spotify documentary.
Oh
That's
yeah.
supposed. Oh, I keep seeing it, and
Wait,
I
is it
keep
the small video that
yeah,
they
that
put?
little
They
thing. Yeah, and I'm just like, where's no, I'm
Where's
ready.
the
I'm
full
ready for the
version?
rest of it. So I'm ready. Hit me with it,
One thing
man.
I'll say is like I look at Thames and look at how much attention she's getting internationally, especially like in the U.S.
Mm.
Um, Even more attention than some of her male counterparts, and it just shows that this belief that people, or I think Nigeria is like very male dominated. Sometimes it dim women's light, but I love how like in the West they're embracing our artists, our female artists even more. And I just think that it shows us that guys, we need to really pay attention to these female artists coming out of Nigeria.
Oh, Taya from Nigeria is already coming up with something. He says, so Don Jazzy discovered a new sound like Aria. What a rush. I'll forgive you for the pun, man. But yeah, I have to say, the fact that this came out of kind of like the Mavens, Don Jazzy camp, I'm just like, okay, yeah. Because one thing I love is when we see people who are real talents,
Mm-hmm.
discoverers and nurturers as well, which I think Don Jazzy is
Yeah,
a great
absolutely.
one. Now, for me, just this music video, obviously we cannot say enough good things about TJ Mori because every time I see another video of his, I'm like, okay, 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 okay. So when I saw this and I was like looking at the transitions because I thought, oh my gosh, the transitions of this absolutely amazing. I couldn't stop staring at the hair, and then when they made the hair like made a transition turn, I was like, okay, okay, I'm watching. Like just from the camera approaches, the angles, the dynamism of just the scenes. Oh, I'm absolutely in love with it, both the sound and the visuals. And
Yeah.
normally I like my videos to tell me a story, right? But in this one, I was just like, okay, this is just like flex.
Oh, for sure.
And
I think you're just like paying
it's,
attention to what she's
yeah,
wearing. Definitely her hair, all of that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, that was the story. The story was flex, flex, flex. Okay. All right. Moving on now. So let's move away from the music and onto the entertainment. And because we already talked about Thames, let me see if I can bring it in because we actually have a story about Thames. Because yeah, sure, she's making waves internationally, and she's getting the accolades and the acclaim. But she was she had a chat with GQ magazine, and she was like, it wasn't all roses and sunshine for me. That it was so bad that at points she had to go and rely on her aunt for food. Like she was wondering, oh, is she going to be an under the bridge singer? I mean, this story
Mm.
of kind of grass to grace.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I just think that it just speaks volumes about how the entertainment industry has really created a ladder for people in Nigeria, and I want to see other industries sort of support people in the same way that music has. A lot of it has to do with, obviously, yes, music doing well here on our shores, but also internationally, across Africa, across the world. And I just want to see other industries really support talent because we have so much raw talent in Nigeria.
Mm.
But I'm very proud of her. I love what she's doing, and I hope she just continues doing it.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see like how far she'll go. Yeah, so to the people, and one thing I really like about this stories like this, because in Nigeria the focus is always on what happens after you've blown,
Mhm.
after you've made the money. But for that kind of inspirational story, and I know like artists will say, "Hey, I didn't set out to be anybody's role model or anything like that," but people do look up to them and like take them as role models.
Absolutely.
And so it's always good when somebody can be like, okay, this is the struggle that went on. These are the swan's legs that are kicking underneath and churning the water while everything is looking graceful on top, so that people can have something that they can be hopeful about. So if we've got
Absolutely.
somebody who's just looking at under the bridge and saying, this cannot be my home, I need to be greater, look at Thames and see how far she came. All right. Let's move on now. This Halima Abubakar one is quite interesting. So we've all been watching what has been going on with the founder of Omega Fire Ministries International, Apostle Johnson Suleiman. So Halima Abubakar was one of the actresses that they're like, okay, something has been going on. And first she denied it, then she now came out and said, okay, fine, but I didn't know he was married. This man told me that he was single, everything was fine, and immediately she came out and called him out and called, who else was it, Shanjord out. um sudden Suddenly, Pebble, what's happening, come on in. So immediately she called him out. Suddenly she turned ill, and I don't know, man, it felt very much like a Nollywood movie to me. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, this particular story has been trending for a bit, and finally, her family spoke out over the weekend and said, if anything happens to our daughter, it's not going to be, as trivial as you're taking it. This lady will have receipts that both of you were in a relationship or whatever it was. I don't know, man, but I mean, this particular clergy is always in the news for the wrong reasons, especially with celebrities. Just a while ago, it was
Oh,
the
yo, do you remember
the
we're
female
coming
singer.
would come in the mornings, and the scandal doesn't do anything for the viewership and the
Oh
streams.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
like we're coming with the morning
Thousands, like
prayers, and people
24.
will be in their
Yeah.
thousands
So
just
he
there.
has this morning prayer thingy he does on YouTube,
Right.
and there are like 24,000 people
And
every
every
morning
morning we'll just be looking and
joining
feel like,
in. And I'm like,
wow,
what is
okay,
going on? And
yeah.
before the end of the day, there's this other actress. If it's not Shan George, it's Halima Abubakar,
Mm.
or it's the Stephanie
There was a
Otabor.
whole list, man.
I think there's too much emphasis they're putting on the women, and as much as, like, okay, she says she doesn't know, she didn't know he was married. Whether she knows or not, we will never know. But I mean, he's the one that made
Or
vows.
rather, he told her he was separated, is what her story
Right,
was.
but I mean, like, it's not. She's not the one that made any vows. So I mean, people. I think people like in Nigeria. I think people pay too much attention on the women that participate in these things. But I mean, the men are the ones that made vows. You're the one breaking your vows, especially if you're coming out as a pastor and saying Christianity. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I think pay more attention to him than her.
I don't. Yeah, I know for sure, because the vow breakers are the ones that. For
She didn't break any
yeah.
vows. She doesn't owe anybody anything.
Mhm.
All right. Well, Ali from my papa says everything that Kenim O's has said is a 100. Gone are those days where we're begging that the females in the music industry get more attention. These Gen Z girls are taking it global, and they're doing it non-stop. Shout out to Tiwa too.
No.
That late. Did you say no?
Her last song, my goodness,
Oh.
man. Go on with the message.
I was like, oh. I get you, man. Because I was like, okay, this looks good. Interesting. That's the word I'll use for it. It was interesting. Anyway, Ali goes on to say, shout out to Tiwa as well.
Mhm.
She has been consistently steady in the music industry, and I can say that she's like the female whiz kid of our industry.
I agree. I mean, if you wanted to talk about, present day female artist in Nigeria, I think you want to put Tiwa at that, position number one. But I don't know what's going on very recently. I can't exactly tell.
What you don't like what's going on, or you don't know what's going on?
Her last music.
Oh, I mean, I personally have never been a Tiwa Savage fan. Not because I don't think she's talented or anything. I think she
actually
is.
really liked early Tiwa Savage.
Right.
I like that vibe.
So for me, when I look at Thames, the first time I heard Thames, I knew that she was gonna blow. I knew she was gonna be international.
Right.
First time I saw Arya Star, I knew she was gonna be international. First time I saw Rema, I knew he was gonna be international. So I just think that there's a different caliber of artists that we have coming out now, and the talent is, at the end of the day, look, evolution. We've grown, we've built a new platform and a new style of artists, and I just love to see what these new kids are doing now.
Meanwhile,
like it.
Ken says, Dr. Tiwa, please.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what Dr. Tiwa is doing with her music. Alaji, oh my God, I was so upset with that music.
So wait, you didn't like the new song?
No,
The new
I
song?
don't like
So
it.
here's
It
the
doesn't
thing
make
about the
any
new
sense
song.
to
I
me.
actually like the song. I just don't like her vocals.
Do you
on
like
it.
the beats?
I like this. I like the whole concept.
No, I
I don't
don't.
like her vocals on it.
Alaji,
I wish.
stop touching me.
I wish like it was. If it
I
was
was just like,
another.
who?
If it was like another voice saying that,
Whose voice?
just somebody that, like even your voice, like
Not
someone that.
Oh.
Seriously, like someone that has a great sound, like sounding voice when they speak.
Mm-hmm.
If you had that voice on there, the song would be different. It would be a different
Well,
vibe.
but I just think that the lyrics was messy, a little too messy for a Tiwa Savage. There's someone else who sings that kind of
Like
song,
what?
and we're so used to it. I won't name names because she's also a close friend of mine. But I mean, Nigerians have suddenly just given up of some sort, But
On
she's
what
really,
creativity is that what you
she's
mean?
really big, right? Okay, I mean, Yemi Alade in Nigeria, Nigerians just listen to her music and not pay as much attention. But I mean, she's really big in Africa
Yeah,
and
she's huge in
globally,
Africa.
and she's making her numbers and making her money.
Yeah.
So, Ali says, Pepple, you don't know what's going on with Tiwa? Okay. Well, we're not talking about her new music, but did you see her stage and crowd control at the Global Citizens Festival?
Of course, it's Tiwa
Please
Savage.
check that out.
Oh,
All right.
Ali, thank you. I hear you.
All right. I'm tired. We started again with Portable. Pepple, you read this one.
No. Well,
Okay.
says Portable would have done it better. Dr. Tiwa came with nursery rhymes. Oh my
Damn.
gosh.
Moving on.
I couldn't even talk about Ira Star earlier on. She's number one on Apple Music in Nigeria. She's taking our Wizkid all the way down to number 11. Sorry, Wizkid.
Wow. So, what are you trying to say? Ira Star came in with the number one that she brought, what, 10 other people with her?
Exactly. I
Wow.
moved Wizkid 10 places
How
down.
did she move Wizkid 10 places down?
Back to me. I don't know what's going on. I can never stop talking about that
Wizkid
song.
moved Wizkid 10 places down. Okay.
And the Ashake guy, my goodness, at least 8 spots between number 1 and 10. He's occupied it and he's held it down in the last 3 weeks. Can you imagine? That guy is doing the
I
numbers.
like it.
Olamide must be smiling to the bank.
All right, we have got to move along to a break, but we'll be back for the second half of the Grapevine here on Smooth 98.1. We'll also be checking out the comments on the live stream, so we'll get to that in just a bit.
I'm doing
Hey, can you give me 1 second, please? Let me just stop for a second.
Union Bank is 105. To celebrate, we're giving away another 55 million naira in the Save and Win Pali promo too. To stand the chance of winning, simply save at least 10,000 naira into your Union Bank account every month. If you don't have an account, download the Union mobile app or visit any of our branches today. The more you save,
All right.
the higher your chances of winning every month, every quarter, and
Oh,
at the end of the
my bad.
year. Terms and conditions apply.
Union Bank, your simpler, stronger. When it comes to living life, man, I can't kill myself. I like it. Like streaming only the latest blockbuster. Eating only fresh food.
Oh, I just want to keep
And
listening
when I want to
Rush, man.
refresh,
Every time I hear it, I play it on repeat.
Yogurt.
Oh, the Arya Star song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's dope, it's dope, it's dope.
And it's at 240. It's got that 240 mark again. So it's like I can't get
Oh,
enough
right.
of it.
240
Oh, that
down.
thing just it's always the 240s. All right, let's check out YouTube. Okay, choose
No story, it's easy to prepare. Just add hot water. I can choose my flavor, chocolate or vanilla. Quick and instant oatmeal. Quick and instant oatmeal. Easy to make and tasty. Quick and instant.
Quaker
instant
oatmeal. Goodness that lasts. Hi everyone, this is Ruby Gang, aka Soromia Ruby, and you're listening to the Smooth Breakfast Show. Do not touch that dial.
All right, let's go back in. All right, people, and we're back for more entertainment news right here inside the grapevine. Let's start it off with football. Yeah, sports came into the grapevine, but it's the music, okay, behind FIFA and their soundtrack for the FIFA 2023 console game. And 2 Nigerian songs made the list. Finesse, first of all.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that made it. And so Fields and Benson, FKA Buju, and Bad Boy Tim's also made it on. What do we think about that? But I mean, but FIFA is, always collects like global sounds and worldwide sounds, people from everywhere.
I mean, I think it's exciting. I think TikTok has made and Instagram have made a big contribution to making Afrobeats like trend and go global. I think I heard like it's like number one. Afrobeats is pretty much like number one on these platforms. But aside from that, what I really hope is that these artists are actually collecting the money themselves and not doing these bad deals with these labels that come and extort them for money. How much of the check are you collecting? That's my own question. Because in this landscape, you really don't need a record label even, but we don't even need to get into that. But collect your money, Sha.
That's the one.
So that's the thing, right? Just because you mentioned, a lot of them have now partnered with international distribution companies, right, to put their music out there, especially in Europe and in the US, where people can stream easily. In Nigeria, you would notice a lot of people now make music 2 minutes or 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes basically, so 2 minutes 30, so Nigerians can stream. Here in Nigeria, we have quote unquote a data problem. I mean, there are some people who can afford it, but there are some others who struggle. So when they're trying to stream your music, they'll be like, my data. But people who live in Europe and some other clients, I mean, it comes as your bill and
distribution deals. You don't like what is the distribution to put in on Spotify? Do you know what to think? You just get one of these.
There's more to it back end.
That's what they make it sound like, but it really isn't. I'm telling you, it's not. It really isn't. Like what they need are marketing deals, not distribution.
Now,
deals.
as an artist, not all of them know how to market this music that they've got. I get your point. Right, so some of these distros will tell you, I'll make sure I talk to Shokbe, and if Shokbe sees you, and that's what they do, they'll pitch you to Shokbe who doesn't know you, for instance, in France, and then she now uses her influence to also advertise your music there, and
we're not in France. What's up, man?
I mean, yeah, I hear you, but even in America, like people are like catching on to the fact that record labels are obsolete and you can actually do it without. T-Pain even says it, like you don't need a record label for anything. Everybody says it, right? But the real question is, what do these deals look like that these artists are making? Are you allowing yourself to be extorted? Are they collecting small money from their labels every time they need pocket money, they'll give them money? How are they what do these deals look like?
No, some of them
what do they own their masters? What are the
they own their masters, they make you own your masters. Some of them request for advance, right? So before you get signed with a distro, you'd say, I need an advance of $100,000.
But an advance is not,
it's not your money. I mean, they have to take the money back, and you could be,
it's just an investment.
Exactly. So sometimes it could be for like 2 years you're singing and making the money, but you've not made up to the $100,000 you took at the start of that deal, and until you're able to recoup that money for the guy,
I think they've made that money. Like that's not a lot of money to make.
For the big artists, yes,
right.
But for some of this, budding artists, It depends on your numbers, your back end numbers cumulatively across Apple.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah, but that's the whole point of the advance, right? It's supposed to be a lump cash sum that will ease your way through life so that you don't have to be waiting on the drip drops from the tap.
Mm.
I think that's the problem, that people think that the advance is just it's just an investment, and it's the most expensive bank loan that you could get,
Right.
with ridiculous terms of like owning your masters
Mhm.
and all of these things. And I just think, especially Nigerian artists who they're excited to see dollars, especially in the economy that we have, don't get scammed. Go on YouTube, go and look up Ross, go and look up all these artists that have figured out how to make their own money without needing these labels, and figure out how you can do partnerships. So when they come to you, you're not so desperate to just take $100,000 when you're worth $2 million, $5 million.
Mm.
That's all I'm
But
saying.
I'm really happy for Fields and Benson, right? Making the cut. Their songs will play at the FIFA World Cup. It's a huge one for Nigeria. Are we going to the World Cup again? I'm not sure, but at least our music is.
Why are you like this?
No, if our players can't, our music is.
Oh.
So
Amen to that. Amen to that.
One way or another, we'll find our way there. That's what
that's
he's trying
right.
to say.
That's right.
Oh guys, okay, so people, Rihanna is returning to headline the 2023 Super Bowl halftime show, and once again they've decided to make this artist that's very, very big about to come and disrupt them, so that it becomes the Rihanna show, and then the Super Bowl is on either side of her. What do we think about this?
I think we want more music from Rihanna. I mean, I think it's exciting. We finally get to see her again perform, but I'm really more interested in when the album is dropping. What are we doing there?
So like it's been obviously huge Rihanna fan even from the beginning, when I was like, "Ooh, that 5 head is amazing." That was what I loved her for at first, and then she gave me more and more music. But then also the fact that she's really leaned into the business side of things,
Oh, for
and
sure.
her skincare,
Billionaire.
makeup, yeah, and then motherhood as well.
Isn't
so
she like the richest black woman? Oh, she's rich as something.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is.
She's rich as something though.
Mm.
Hold on.
Entertainer, I think, or musician,
that's
or
the
something.
thing, and I like that we're having these conversations. It doesn't happen a lot in Nigeria, and I'm angry. When you have the fans, right? You've been able to grow your fan
Richest
base,
female musician.
There we go.
and it's through her business. It's through her business, not music in itself. So when you have the fan base, you have the numbers, you diversify. We've seen what's his name, Kanye West. So that I'm not
Yeah.
you see what he did with his own brand. Do you get what I mean? Like,
Mm.
after a while, you've got the global numbers. You know that people know your music all across the world. Why don't you tap into that audience that you have and sell something to them? That's what she's done.
Yeah.
It was through her business she was able to cook, $1 billion.
Yeah.
It wasn't just through music. Yes, with the music she was getting millions and all that. But in Nigeria,
Do we
just
have
stay
any
stuck.
Nigerian artist that has done that? I know we had this discussion
Coco
before.
Gary.
I know we
Oh,
talked about the
D'banj,
band. We talked about Dr. Sid as well. I'm
I
trying
mean-
to think. Is there anyone? Guys, help me out. Is there any?
There are people.
Mhm.
I think back in the
trying to
day
think.
when Rihanna signed those deals, and all those deals that Kanye her Rihanna signed, they weren't predatory, but they were able to still. They don't have ownership. Well, now they do, but they didn't have ownership of their music, and so they had to work like slaves. And they saw, look, we have all this impact, especially with social media. We can use this to sell products, and now they become billionaires. We've seen Kim Kardashian do this. We see so many people doing this. But the deals that people are signing today in the record industry, the 360 deals, how easy is it for you to have this type of ownership? So those are the things that you have to really look at.
Yeah.
So because they get these 360 deals, they get a cut of everything that you do. So, but I love how Rihanna has married business with music, and use that platform to make herself.
I don't even
rich.
think that a lot of people do the whole 360 again. Right? Times have changed. People now would come to you for maybe a distribution deal,
For sure.
or for some partnership of some sort,
Mm.
get me international collaborations, and then we split, But really, I'm so upset that in Nigeria we've taken this split thing to the highest, 95.5.
Who's doing 95.5?
There was
Oh.
there was this Machala song, right?
Mhm.
And then there were stories that followed the song, because the song was taken down on all the streaming platforms until they were able to come to terms and have an agreement.
Okay.
So initially, the comedian had said he picked up a young guy, helped the guy. They had not even discussed, terms, sharing formula and all that.
Mhm.
The song became big and became #1 song in Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
Then suddenly the boy has a lawyer,
Right.
and so his lawyers are like, "Oh, we're
As you should.
supposed to share."
Exactly.
No, but they didn't have this conversation before making the music.
Okay, the lawyer wanted to share
After the
music?
song was, picking up and getting the numbers, they're like, oh, he needs to get a better deal, not 95.5.
But
The guy gave him 5%.
Was supposed to.
The guy gave the artist 5%, and he's not ashamed of himself. And he's not disgraced. That's the problem with okay. The exploitation. It is
I
ridiculous.
can't take it.
Anyway.
And he's not ashamed of himself.
How,
Oh,
did,
well.
how did we get here?
How did we get here?
First we're discussing
Rihanna.
Rihanna. Yeah.
Super Bowl halftime show is gonna be amazing. New music, yeah. Yeah, I would like to see where her music goes this time around.
I don't know if
She's
we're gonna
like
get new music
different.
from her, to be honest. I think the longer
No,
she takes,
she's
the
gonna-
harder it is to get in the studio and actually
Mhm.
figure something out, because is it gonna be good enough? We're not gonna accept this last album that you did in 2016. What was that? We're not gonna accept that. We want real Rihanna
Anti.
music.
No. So, for me, Rihanna. Wait, what do you mean by real Rihanna music?
Just that anti
What does-
the example.
excuse
Some
me?
of the songs are okay, but it
Excuse
wasn't.
me?
She didn't really deliver. She didn't give us Rihanna.
Oh no, we will fight to the death on this one. That's not my position. But no, for me that was Rihanna taking control of her music, and she was like, I don't want to do what you guys keep making me do. Because when she first came out, remember what was it that she was singing?
Hits.
Before
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't take you. I cannot take you. Like
No, look, I hear you. That's the problem. These artists, once they become sort of like bigger, they start wanting to do what they want to do. And I don't know.
hold on. So got this a message in. Can Rihanna topple what Snoop and Dre did last time?
It's Rihanna now.
It'll be
Of
too
course.
much for her. I mean, that show was.
It was dope.
Epic.
It was dope.
I couldn't go to
But you
sleep
guys
watching
forget
it.
Rihanna's catalog and her impact. So like as much as that is even more it's more old school. Nah, Rihanna's gonna deliver for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, the moral of this story is that we want more music from Rihanna.
Yeah.
That's the moral. Moving on. Yeah. All right. So what else do we have to talk about? Oh, okay. So this is an interesting one. Obviously, whenever we hear about new fare from Ridley Scott, everyone is like, okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? But Apple is now the nemesis and the villain in this story, because they're saying that Napoleon is not going to be released in anytime in this year. So that was going to be the Ridley Scott biopic, and they're saying that they're not releasing it in December because that would then help them qualify for the 2023 Oscars. But they're like, nah, let it have its own space and place. And so they've said that it's not finished with post-production, and well, we'll just have to wait till 2023 for Napoleon.
I don't know what people think, that people just like make movies and it comes out right away. They didn't just finish rapping in May. So I mean, they need time to refine it and then market it and do all of that stuff. Definitely not.
But here's the
year's
thing, you
Oscars.
can't blame people, because we are now in that space where everything comes to us really, really quickly. I'm telling
Instant
you,
gratification.
when they gave me Bridgerton, I was like, so where's season 2? Like, what is wrong with you
Yeah.
guys? Why am I not seeing it in January? And then when season 2 came out, I was like, season 3 and call, what's going on here? So that instant
Did you
gratification.
enjoy
But have you
season two?
noticed
That's the problem what Netflix
season
has
2 was
done.
not as good as season 3? And
That's
that-
what Netflix has done to
but
the marketplace.
have you noticed that the streaming platforms are trying to slow walk they're trying to slow walk binge watching back?
Yeah, I heard that
Yeah.
Netflix is trying to change their model, and well, I don't know if it's true, but there was a rumor that they're trying to change their model and stop releasing all episodes at once.
Yeah, so see what they did with Stranger
Oh,
Things.
okay.
They cut it up into half, and there was a month in between, right? So that
Right.
sustained the conversation online. I noticed with Prime that The Boys they were releasing it. How did they release The Boys? Was it weekly, or they released like batches of 3? I can't remember, but I remember being
Mhm.
very annoyed. I was like, I will wait until everything is out, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch it. And then I didn't watch it. Funny enough. And
Right.
then also Disney Plus, they did Only Murders in the Building was the one I noticed, and they were doing that weekly. So I was just like, oh, okay, I see
Well-
where you guys are going with this. I don't want it. You've opened up a Pandora's box. You're now trying to push everything
Well,
back
hold
in.
on. The only people that opened up Pandora's box is Netflix.
Yeah, but then everybody
Everybody-
followed suit.
Well, I mean, the best quality platforms like HBO
HBO,
have stayed true to
didn't.
once a week.
they
Do
did.
you understand? And you know you're going
Yeah.
to get quality once a week.
Yeah.
That is what Netflix is trying to change their model to, quality over quantity. they grew with quantity.
Yeah.
Now it's time to double down on quality. And we've heard that that's sort of their mission. They're trying to do bigger blockbuster films. So you can't just drop everything and then we forget about it after a week or two. Nah.
Hey, all I'm just saying, we've actually run over time, guys.
Oh,
I
damn.
couldn't realize.
How
But-
time
I'm
flies.
telling you. Oh, we're done, guys. So, Kenim, what can we see from you, and where can we see it on?
Check me out at Brand Video Pro on all socials.
Brand Video Pro. Do you have anything in the works?
Yes, I have a new series, podcast coming out called The Voice of the Youth, and it's going to be talking to people around the elections, just to educate more people,
Ooh.
members of the youth, about what's going on politically. So go check that out. That's on Stream OVG. That's stream.ovg on Instagram, and you can also find it on YouTube, OVG.
Okay.
Go check it out. The
I
Voice
want to
of the
listen
Youth.
to that.
That
Sure.
sounds really,
Yeah.
yeah, we'd love that. All right, and of course, I'm at Shukla Martins across the social media platforms.
I'm at Victor Pepple, VICTAPEPPLE.
Okay, and that's that. Grapevine is done. Coming up, 9 o'clock, Lagos, you will be talking.
Thank you, people.
On the
Thank you,
Sun
thank you.
Breakfast Show.
They like you. Someone said,
I want her
contact. I want to invite her for something.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay, so,
And this, we need to go. Bye, all of
Bye,
you.
guys.
Thank you, thank you,
Bye.
thank you.
Oh, today is
Say hi to them.
fun.
Say bye.
Bye.